Have you ever found yourself wondering why that big win, maybe a dream promotion, or even hitting the lottery doesn't deliver the permanent happiness boost you expected? Or conversely, how people facing really devastating setbacks often find their way back to feeling content, sometimes surprisingly quickly. It feels, well, counterintuitive.
It absolutely does. And the science behind that feeling is actually what we're exploring today, the hedonic treadmill.
Okay.
This concept is the deep-seated reason why we humans tend to quickly adapt to life's highs and its lows.
Right.
So our mission for this deep dive is to understand the powerful mechanisms at play and, maybe more importantly, how you can potentially step off it, to cultivate more lasting well-being.
So let's unpack this. There's a really fascinating piece of research from 1978. Brickman and his colleagues published the study.
The lottery winner study.
Yeah, exactly. Tracked 22 lottery winners and also 29 accident victims. And what they found was, well, pretty mind-blowing. 18 months later, the lottery winners reported being no happier than average. And often, they actually took less pleasure in everyday stuff, like talking with friends.
Which is incredible when you think about it.
Totally. Meanwhile, the accident victims, despite their initial, devastation, they reported only modest long-term drops in happiness.
And what that landmark study really highlights are these two core processes. They sort of govern our emotional landscape. Contrast effects and habituation.
Okay, break those down.
Well, when you experience something extraordinary like that lottery win, it can actually skew your internal reference point for what brings joy. That's the contrast effect.
Ah, so everyday things seem duller.
Exactly, by comparison. And then habituation kicks in. That's where you simply get used to the new normal.
Whether it's good or bad.
Right. Whether it's the thrill of a big bank balance or the challenge of, say, new physical limitations. Together, these forces kind of pull us back to our individual baseline happiness level.
And this idea of constantly adapting, it leads to this really interesting question. How much control do we actually have over that baseline happiness? Which brings us to the happiness set point. I know twin studies, like the Minnesota study of twins root apart, have looked at this.
They have, and they've shown that happiness has a pretty significant genetic component, somewhere around 36%.
Oh, that much?
Yeah. Identical twins raised completely separately still share nearly half their happiness levels. It's a powerful indicator of this sort of inherent baseline.
Okay, but that's not the whole story, right?
Not at all. And this is where it gets really compelling, I think. Because while genetics gives us a starting point, our external life circumstances, things like income, marital status, where we live, surprisingly, they only account for about 10% of our overall happiness.
Only 10%.
Only 10%. What's fascinating here is that leaves this remarkable 50% of our happiness apparently within our own influence.
50%.
Shaped by our thoughts, our actions, our daily behaviors. It's a lot.
You really see this adaptive power everywhere. I mean, think about studies of people moving from slums into much better housing.
Right. You see that initial spike in happiness.
Huge spike, but it faded by like 60% within just 8 months.
Adaptation at work.
And there was that Swiss research tracking people through major life events. It showed even positive changes like marriage, which often gave lasting boosts, weren't immune. But then things like unemployment caused a steep drop, but there was still a gradual recovery, even if not always complete.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, especially around money, we hit the Easterlin paradox.
Yes, the money-happiness connection, or lack thereof past a certain point.
Exactly. Research suggests that up to maybe around $75,000 a year in the U.S., more income does correlate with more happiness. It covers basic needs, reduces stress.
Makes sense.
But beyond that point, the effect basically plateaus. It levels off.
So despite massive income growth in many wealthy nations, overall happiness levels haven't really budged much.
Pretty much. We adapt quickly to the material gains, and then we just shift our expectations, our comparison points move up, the goalposts keep moving. Yeah.
So after hearing all this, the big question is, are we just like doomed to this endless cycle, this treadmill?
Well, the powerful truth is no. We've kind of uncovered the mechanisms now, right? So now we can talk about how to consciously, deliberately try to step off that treadmill, build more lasting satisfaction.
Okay, so how do we do that? What are the strategies?
Exactly. The key isn't to stop having goals or wanting nice things. It's about engaging with the world in ways that actively resist that quick adaptation.
Okay.
And it turns out maybe the most potent weapon against the treadmill isn't chasing more stuff, but actually deepening our connections with people.
Relationships.
Yes. The Harvard study of adult development showed this so clearly. Strong social bonds are like an anti-adaptation superpower. They provide constant novelty, support, meaning, things material possessions just can't replicate long term.
That makes a lot of sense. What else?
Gratitude practices. And I don't just mean vaguely feeling thankful. I mean actively identifying and appreciating what you have.
Like keeping a gratitude journal.
That's one way, yeah. Studies show this can actively shift your internal reference points, make everyday moments feel more extraordinary. Meta-analyses found these exercises can raise life satisfaction by nearly 7%, reduce anxiety, and the benefits can stick around for weeks.
Wow. Okay, connections, gratitude.
Novel experiences are key too. Trying new things keeps our brains engaged, preventing that quick adaptation, and then there are meaningful pursuits.
Like hobbies or volunteering.
Exactly, often called eudaimonic activities. Things focused on personal growth, purpose, contribution, learning a skill, mastering a craft, helping others. These create a much more durable, resilient kind of well-being than just chasing fleeting pleasures.
And what about just like appreciating the good moments when they happen?
That's mindful savoring. Really paying attention to positive moments, feeling them. It helps sustain those happiness gains, stretching them out. It's also worth noting, quickly, the personality matters a bit too. Traits like extroversion or mindfulness can naturally slow adaptation down for some people.
Whereas neuroticism might speed it up.
Potentially, yes. Makes these strategies maybe even more important.
So ultimately what you're saying is that while our genetics might set a kind of baseline, our daily choices, what we do, how we think, they're actually immensely powerful.
Absolutely. That's the empowering truth here. How you choose to use your time, what you focus on, how you connect with others, they can genuinely, gradually raise your own happiness set point over time. It's an active process, not passive.
Understanding this hedonic treadmill idea, it really does feel empowering. It helps you pursue joy more wisely, maybe build a life that's filled with more lasting satisfaction, not just those temporary highs.
And maybe this raises an important question for you listening right now. Consider how lasting happiness isn't primarily found in those external circumstances we often chase, but maybe more in the intentional way you choose to live each day and really engage with your experiences.